Right. I was being silly there. Sorry. I've had a few requests and people asking about different parts in trigonometry. So I've decided to do a series on trigonometry. So this is just basically an introduction to what I'll be doing, and like an introduction to the series, a playlist, a course, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't matter. So the most important thing for trigonometry is the things that you'll need. You'll definitely need a scientific calculator, and it must have these types of buttons on. It must have some calculators write these as arc, so they write arc, tan, arc, sine, arc, cos, arc, tan. That's just a different way that people write them. The ones with the minuses and the arc are basically the same functions, just so that people know and that there's no confusion about them being different. So anyway, you're gonna need that, because trigonometry would take too long to do without a calculator. Even though it was actually discovered before there were calculators, but nowadays we're used to calculators, so best to have them. The other thing is, of course, it would be useful if you had a book on trigonometry that you could refer to, and it's definitely important that as we go through you have things like identities here written down, have a list of them, that you know them. You don't have to keep finding them over and over, you have to remember them, because they're useful for so many things in this course. Anyway, here's our topics. I'm not necessarily going to cover them in the order that they're written down here, but these are like the things that I will be covering. And there might be some more here that I've missed off, because sometimes I miss off a topic or decide to add in an extra topic later on for some reason, you know. But anyway, these are things that I'm definitely going to be covering in this course. So we'll be looking at triangles. Triangles with right angles in first, then we'll look at triangles in general, where there isn't a right angle, I mean. We'll look at circles, because circles are also important for trigonometry. And lots of ideas were discovered from circles, and there's an important graph to help you with things that's actually a circle. And we'll look at the graphs of the trig functions, because it's important that we know them, because they're useful for solving equations and stuff like that. So the other bit's going to be learn how to solve different trig equations. These could be simple where you just do the inverse, or ones that are quadratic and you have to make substitutions and factor, or even ones where you have to use identities to make all of the all the trig functions the same. We'll look at trig functions, because in real life there's lots of functions where a number comes from trigonometry, some trig function. And we'll look at inverse trig functions, which is just the opposite of the normal trig functions. We'll look at radians, which is an alternative measure for degrees, which is also going to be an important part of trigonometry. For later parts in maths more than now, at the minute you might think it's just, you know, making things more complicated to change degrees to radians, but it will help you later on in maths, so we're going to study it now. We're going to look at applications as well, because there's lots of applications ways that all this is used, and we're going to look at the cosine and the sine law. And these are kind of related to this bit here that I was talking about. These are for general triangles, you'll see. We'll also look at some 3D trigonometry problems in 3D shapes, so we can split things up into triangles and find different angles and lengths using trigonometry, and also Pythagoras. We'll cover Pythagoras in here as well, because it's very closely related to trigonometry.